Trash Pumpkin Trading Cards, and today for Trash Pick Thursdays, we are going to be identifying 10 promos that you didn't know you needed in your personal collection. I hope you like this video, and if you guys do, please smash that like button, comment, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. And please, 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 if you want me to do another video like this where I highlight maybe promos from a different set or different country like China or Japan, let me know in the comments below. All right, everybody, so like our intro stated, we are going to be looking at 10 promos that you didn't know you needed in your personal collection. And so we're on the TCG players, and we're just going to dive headfirst into this, and we're just going to do the general search that we have. So this list, there's no specific price point on these, but these are all Wizards of the Coast except for one Wizards of the Coast promo from 2000, from 1990. Let me get the date correct. I don't want to tell you guys the wrong date. 1999 to 2003, and then you had the Nintendo era, which was like 2003 to 2007. So again, this specifically Wizards of the Coast is the 1999 to 2003. And so we're going to be looking at the first card on our list, which is the Entei. So this is the Entei Wizards of the Coast Cosmos Holo promo that came out, and it is an absolutely beautiful card. You have that Wizards of the Coast promo stamp right there. Beautiful Cosmos. And so now traditionally with these older cards, what you're going to see is that they're not going to have a consistent market trend. Why? Because a lot of people don't know, one, that they exist, or two, that they were even printed, because especially as the newer, younger generation comes into the Pokemon collection market, there isn't a lot of traction for older promos. Now, that doesn't mean people don't collect them, and there is a good group of collectors that do have promos in their collection that would be after niche Cosmos Holos graded slabs of this variety. So with that being said, when you look at the market trend, like right now, you have that market trend up, and that was like at $1.11. But since April, there has not been a single sale. Average daily sold is 1. And so if you wanted to really see the 3-month snapshot, we're just going to click on View More Data. So the last one that sold actually was a heavy play at $1.48. And then you had a light play at $5.26, a near mint at $16.95. So there are near mints that are being sold on the market. And so if you wanted to only buy near mint, we can see what the price is for that. So you have a near mint at $10. And as you see, the market does fluctuate based off of the conditions. So once we put the near mint in, it shows us that market data right there. And so you could get a near mint one. So this is listed as near mint. Like I said, beautiful card. I would be curious what the back looks like, because that's where a lot of the where comes into play. Now, according to TCG Player, near mint can't have more than 3 discrepancies on it. So here's one with the back of the card. Just to kind of see it. Like, this is not near mint. This is, I would say, light play to moderate play, more on the moderate play side. Definitely moderately played. And especially this is a crease. Definitely not trusting that near mint listing. So, like I said, you have to really pay attention, especially with these older cards. This is the Japanese version, actually. So you can take a look at that real quick. I wasn't expecting there to be the Japanese version. Now, the difference really is that the Wizards of the Coast promo came out with the stamp. The Japanese card does not have the Wizards of the Coast promo stamp on there. So it just may be listed under the wrong thing, and that is okay. So verified seller. Let's see where we can. So this one's still sealed. You have $15. Okay, you have verified seller at $16.95 with $4 shipping. You have another sealed one from verified seller at $24.99. So the market definitely jumps the moment we get to verified sellers, just because verified sellers are more trustworthy. But I digress there. But that is the Entei that we're going to be looking at today. The next card, like I said, is going to be Wizards of the Coast. So, like, let's say, for example, you don't know how to find Wizards of the Coast. You can do a different search. So you can put Mewtwo, because that's the next one. You can go to the set, you can type in promo, and it'll pull up all the different promos. And we're going to do Wizards of the Promo. I'm looking for Wizards of the Coast promo number 3. So this is the movie promo. So the difference between this one and the last one is that this one actually has the Pokemon, the first movie stamp with the Warner Brother stamp right there on the top. If you're looking forward at the card on the right, if you're holding the card in front of you on the left, right there. And as you see, for this, market has been trending up to the right. We do have daily sales, 1 per day. 2 did sell yesterday, and on the 3 sold on the 28th. So you have a wide range. You have a near mint that sold for 20 bucks. I think this would look really cool in a slab, but the purple and yellow I think would look better in a back of black label than a PSA slab, just because the aesthetic appeal. But we are interested in the near mint, so let's see what we have. We have an 1859 near mint from a verified seller. Here we have a picture of the card. So here you have that promo stamp. Overall looks pretty good. Some slight edge wear, but nothing crazy. I think this looks pretty near mint. With these older cards, you have to remember that when they were handed to kids, they were not loved the best. They were put in binders, put in their pockets, folded into 4s. So these older promo cards in really good condition are definitely harder to find. But you see you have that nice gold lettering. You do have a small nick right there. Again, I'd be interested in seeing what the back has to look like versus the front. But here's the trend for the near mint cards. We're going to look at overall and then look at near mint, because that for the promos would be what I would encourage people to add to their collection if they're looking for overall like good value trending to the right versus not. And I mean, I'm not a financial advisor, but if you look at this, you're at $14 in the 2nd of December, and now we have a 33% increase in May. So in 6 months, we raised $4 per card. And so if we look at a year trend, we were at $10 on the 3rd of June, so a year ago. So we've almost went up, 100%. So we're up 75% from last year. So that's a good market trend value. So if you don't want to go through all this rigmarole, take a step back. If you don't want to go through all this rigmarole, like searching the card and going through all the steps, when you type in the name, you can go Dragonite and then type in WOTC. WOTC stands for Wizards of the Coast promo. And so you can just type that in and it'll pull up the card. So yeah, the next card we're going to be looking at is the Dragonite movie promo, Wizards of the Coast. Again, you have that Warner Brothers Pokemon first movie promo stamp on the top of the card. These older cards, like I said, are very, very, very cool, very pretty. This market trend's a little bit different than the other one because we seem to be going on that arch. So we peaked here about $18, and then now we're on that downtrend a little bit. So looking for that market stabilization, which we don't really have. We have this massive spike, and so we're coming back down here. Where we're gonna hit that threshold at, I'm not sure. But still an awesome card to have as the market settles, especially in the summer. A lot of people are selling in the summer, not a lot of people are buying. And so you'll have cards values tank as more cards come into the market. So again, average sales, you have some light plays at 1645, 1539. You have a CGC 9 that sold here. So somebody listed CGC 9, $55. You can list graded cards on the TCG Player website. You just have to take pictures. Here's a sealed one that sold for $50. So just some food for thought on that near mint aspect. You have one sold, 2 sold on the 24 for $24.49 on the 26th. And so if we go to our conditioning, near mint, in January we were at $13, and we've seen a 100% increase in value over the last 6 months. 6 months really. For value overall. Verified seller, $24.99. Let's see if we have any ones with pictures real quick. I don't think we will. Like I said, we do. Oh, it's sealed. Darn. So we have a PSA 9, or PSA 8 listed for $59.99. And again, like, looks really clean. Here's the back of the card. Not sure why I got, oh yeah, there's a little nick in the corner. So overall, really, really clean. Centering's a bit off as well. but quality control on older cards like that wasn't really a thing back then. So near mint cards are really, really hard to come by for those older cards in that kind of condition. But again, if you wanted a upgraded slab and you didn't care about grade, then PSA 8 for $59 really isn't that outlandish in comparison to some of the other cards in the Pokemon collecting universe. So now we're going to be diving into the Articuno Wizards of the Coast promo. So this one's a little bit more expensive at $33, but we do have a 7% increase since March in that 3-month snapshot. We have no average daily sold. Let's see, we sold one on the 17th at $33, one on the 16th. So there's not a lot of market action. So as you see, we had 3 consecutive days, 3 consecutive days of sales, and then a 7-day gap, and then a 3-day gap again. So there's not a lot of consistency in the market sales there. And you have near mints listed at $34.25. I don't think this promo is foil either. Let's take a look. Yes, this is not a foil promo. And if you guys aren't familiar, I would not buy it. It's greased. But, for the non-foil promos, they're not highly sought after because there's not as much of appeal to the photogenic display of the card versus the holos and Cosmos holos. So that's why you'll see these promos that aren't foil. They're great cards to have, but they're not going to be as highly sought after as foil promos unless they're some of the original like 1999 edition promos. Like this is from 2002. Those 1999 promos that are really, really hard to come by that aren't foil are going to still be good chases to have. So I'm not sure about the rest of the Wizards of the Coast if they're going to be foil or not, but I do believe that the market is going to be about the $20 market range. I lied. I'm literally talking out of my face hole apparently. But again, you do have a good uptrend in that market. So March we were at $7, and right now we're at $9, which is a 23% increase. We do have near mints listed, so let's take a look at the data. So we do have pretty much consistent sales almost on a daily basis. This one has a picture. Let's see what this has to say. So non-foil, but still a really clean card. I think it would look better foil personally. I am a foil person, so if you're not and you just enjoy the aesthetic appeal of cards, this is definitely an awesome card at a great price point to add to your personal collection. And we're still at that near mint threshold, so like overall you can get a good, say, where's the light play? What's light play looking at? Like light play $6. So I mean, if light play is $6 and near mint's $9, I'd probably just end up spending the extra couple dollars and getting the near mint personally. But we do have that good market trend up to the right. A 6-month snapshot. I mean, we're at $6 in December. It's a 36% increase now, so it's a good uptrend to the right in the value of the card, especially for a card that could put in a binder, get a couple in the binder just for good trade value later on, that a lot of people won't have in their binder that they needed in their binder for their collection. So you'll have some people that will collect niche Pokemon that they didn't know these older promos existed, and so you having them in your binder definitely sets you up for success in a trade. So it just seems, I guess you have the big 3 birds, right? The Articuno, the Zapdos, and the Moltres, which kind of like makes sense for the Wizards of the Coast promo. But I mean, this one has an insane increase over the last 3 months, where we're looking at a 44% spike in value just for near mint, and then a 59% overall, where we're at $1.37 on March 3rd, and now we're at $2.19 on May 29th. So if we're looking at the whole market data, near mint just sold for $7. You do have consistent sales every day, whether it's 1 or 2. The 28th had like 5, which is good. And that's what you kind of want to see with these older cards on the market when you're trying to evaluate the value of the card, is how fast do these cards move, because you don't want to buy a card as a vendor or as a business owner and then sit on the card for an extended period of time. So market availability definitely plays a trend in its purchasability, or like what you're willing to pay. I'm surprised they had this dip right here. So you had a dip down to like $4 in February, and then you had a massive jump, 50% increase by present day. So don't know why that happened. So the next one we're going to be going into is everybody's OG favorite. We have Pikachu. We have a lot of Wizards of the Coast promos, but we're going to be specifically looking at number 4. Number 4, I Choose You. So this one does have that gold lettering that I really, really like from the old promo. This is the movie promo. Again, you do have a nice little 14%, not the highest increase we've seen in overall value. Again, this is the near mint market, but we do have a lot of near mint sales. I wouldn't say every day, but pretty consistent on the sales. So this does have a good collection market. That does look really clean. There's 2 small nicks at the bottom. So I don't know if that person noted. It's also very top heavy. Get a nice little top heavy right there. So you have that top heavy pull down right there, and then you have 2 small nicks right there. So these are just things to be cognizant of if you're looking at cards online and you're looking to get them graded, because that would probably grade a 7. If I was a betting person, that would probably grade a 7, which by technicalities is a near mint card. This person bought $170 worth at 10. That's insane. I hope they're all sealed. But you do have some near mints, 1624. You have another one, 1729 shipping included. So not bad price points for the overall value of one of the original Pokemon movie promos that are on the market right now. And I did not know this existed, so this will be a first one for us. It might be something that we pick up for Mama Panda. Let us see what this looks like. Oh. Well, I know she doesn't have it. I don't think she has it. I have to look. She has a lot of Jigglypuffs. I don't know what she has. But you have the Jigglypuff Wizards of the Coast promo. So this one is not that big of a price jump. So it's only at 4%. And then over the 6-month snapshot, it's actually up 1%. So this has been a pretty consistent market. You do have a 2% increase over the 1 month, but we want to look at the 3-month data. And you have a pretty good sale point at $8.99. So this seems to be where the market is stabilized at. I don't know if you're going to see a massive uptrend or downtrend. I think it's just being consistent right now, which is not a bad thing in the card. But just remember, like, as these cards get older, their values are just going to continue to trend up and to the right. And so if you look at like the 1 year, you have that consistency in that value, except for this dip right here, which we saw a lot of cards dip in the beginning of the year, which is to be expected. But that's neither here nor there. We're not financial advisors nor stock market analysis. But as you see, we do have a consistent stabilization at that $8 mark. So it came back, it retested, it did fail to retest, it came back up, retested again, and then we're retested and we're coming back up again. So we are in the right direction of market stability. But again, awesome promo, very simple, not too flashy, not too gaudy, not a lot of near mint listings either. So there is a strong possibility that this card might start going up a little bit due to market availability on the near mint aspect of the card as people collect the card. But that's just my opinion. Again, this is one of the older promos, by the way. This is like 1999 to 2000 Wizards of the Coast. So this is like one of the original promos that are on the market. So market availability definitely is going to play a factor in its accessibility. So the next one we have, this kind of goes into the newest set. So we have an Eevee Cosmos Holo Wizards of the Coast promo, and arguably one of the prettier cards we've looked at today. And especially with all of the hype around Prismatic, you definitely saw some value increase in here. But right now we're at a overall 28% increase, but we had a 52% spike in April. And so let's look at some market data. You have a lot of near mint sales. Daily consistency not there though. You have a 5-day gap here, 3-day gap, 3-day gap. So there is some gaps in sales versus having it every day. So let's just see overall market data. We're up 16% overall. But we do have consistent sales every day of the card. Just conditioning varies based off of that. 6-month though, we do have a great jump. So we're at $10 in December, and right now we're at an 83% overall price increase in value. So I definitely think that Prismatic had something to do with that price jump, but at the same time, this is one of the original Cosmos Holo promo cards that Wizards of the Coast ever did. And finding this in near mint condition to mint condition and getting it graded definitely is something that as a collector would increase your collection's value, in my opinion. Again, I'm not a financial advisor or anything, but if you look at these jumps, you're only verified sellers at $34.99, and then you go up to $52. So there's a good chance that this guy's going to sell his product before these just because he's a verified seller. Even though he doesn't have a lot more sales, he does have that verified seller stamp, which is the guarantee from TCG Player. So there's a good chance that that's going to sell first versus everything else. So this is the last card we're going to be looking at. I cannot spell to save my life. Did I spell that right? Oh, that's right. Not the Neogenesis. Oop. So this is the first Nintendo promo that we're looking up. So I'm going to, yep, there it is. Oh, that looks sick. I'm not sure if this is foil or not. It is foil. It's a holo foil. So market overall is actually down. So this might be the opportune time to like snatch this card up. Let's see what sales are like. So hasn't been a sale since the 27th. Light play at 17, light play at 13, light play at 15, near mint at 17, near mint at 22. So there is some sales, but not for a couple days. And you had a gap here. You had a 6-day gap here. Let's see what this looks like. Hopefully this is a good photo. You can kind of see the foiling right there. That's a pretty cool promo. You have the little promo stamp right there. Typhlosion is sick. I might actually pick one of these up, not gonna lie. Just because the market's down right now. It might be like opportune. Let's see what the market looks like for near mint. It'd really be the... Alright, so the near mint is kind of stable. There's two sellers, $19.50 and $26.99, but he's got 10 of them. So if you hypothetically had a lot of money, you could buy out the market, and then there'd only be a $26.99. You'd kind of like control the price. But I might scoop one of these up, actually. But yeah, super cool. It has that Delta species kind of like look, the older school era Typhlosion artwork. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely see what these go for already graded to versus that. But that promo is the last one I'm gonna be looking at. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for checking out our top promos, not top promos, 10 promos that we think you need to have in your personal collection. We're definitely going to look at that Typhlosion because that is a really good price point for a card that does not have a lot of market left on TCG Player, which means that price does have the potential to go up. But we won't bother you guys with that. Thank you so much for checking out our video. Hope everybody has a fantastic, trash-tastic day. We'll see you guys tomorrow for our product reveal, what we're doing for our Pack Fridays, and our 136 slab Saturday. It's going to be great. With that, y'all, have a fantastic, trash-tastic day, and we'll check y'all next time. Deuces.